Hello everybody, today I will be reacting to my long-awaited IB results. I know this video is pretty late, but better late than never. So I actually already know my overall IB results because my IB coordinator revealed them to me over a Zoom meeting. However, not only has my brain not fully processed them, but I also don't know my components, so technically this will still be a pretty raw reaction. And before I actually look at my scores, my subjects were physics, chemistry, and maths, analysis and approaches in HL, and English A, language and literature, Indonesian B, and economics in SL, and I took economics for my extended essay. So those were the subjects that I took. Let's get to my actual results. As I have said, I already know my overall IB results. My total score is a 43. My requirement for the university that I wanted was a 40, so I met that requirement, thankfully. So I am just going to look at the very first subject at the top. It is English A, language and literature, SL. Oh wow, I got a 7.
So I'm in the middle of editing and I'm thinking to myself, why the fuck am I so undramatic?
Which is very surprising because as far as what I've been told, it's pretty difficult to get a 7 in English A, and at least in my second year of IB, my English teacher has literally never given me a 7. Except for that one time. I think I have gotten a 7 once, but only once. So this was actually really shocking to me. Well, good for me, I guess. Next up is Indonesian B SL, and I got a 7 as well, which was, I was expecting it because Indonesian B is a pretty easy subject for an Indonesian, at least, and I am Indonesian, so yeah. Moving on, my extended essay in economics, I received a B. Fair enough, I was expecting a B. So,
A little bit of story time.
I realized later on that economics is actually the subject that I disliked the most. I didn't realize that at first. I realized that later on, which is when I kind of started to regret choosing economics for my extended essay, but what's done is done. I got a B, which is not bad. I'm satisfied with it, but I think if I were to be given the choice, I probably would have made different decisions in regards to my extended essay. Yeah. Okay. Economics SL. As I've said, economics is the subject I dislike the most. And I got a 7. Economics was actually a pretty difficult subject for me because it was just hard for me to motivate myself to go and learn about it, but nevertheless I worked hard for my grade and I got a 7, and so good for me. Moving on, chemistry HL. I worked the hardest for my 3 HL subjects, and I received a 7 for chemistry HL. I actually want to know the grade boundaries for this. So the grade boundary for a 7 is 85 in chemistry HL. That is pretty high. I wasn't expecting it to be this high, but maybe everyone just did really well this year. Okay, moving on. Next is physics HL. Okay, I got a 6, which I would say I'm satisfied with it. I am satisfied with a 6. And let me just look at the grade boundaries real quick. I was really curious about this. Oh wow, it is a 69 for a 7. I mean, it is low relative to other subjects, but physics always has a low grade boundary for a 7. But yeah, 69 is low, and wow, I got a pretty bad score. I got a pretty bad score for physics HL. I received a 63, and so I would need like 6 marks to get a 7. Yeah, not so good. Not so good, but you know what? It's still a 6. Okay, moving on. Mathematics, analysis, and approaches HL. I got a 7. Thank God I got a 7. Because actually my requirements are a 6 and a 7 in physics and mathematics, analysis and approaches HL in any order. And I got exactly that. So thank God for that. Wow. The grade boundaries for mathematics analysis and approaches is a 72. Pretty similar to physics HL. It's pretty low, which is, I guess, expected for mathematics analysis and approaches. I got a score of 1 mark above the grade boundary for a 7, which means I would have gotten a 6 if I scored like 2 marks lower. That is a little terrifying, but I'm just thankful I got a 7. If I didn't get a 7, I would be in my coffin by now. And lastly, TOK. Okay, before I look at my score, I just want to talk a little about TOK. I have mixed feelings towards TOK because a lot of TOK is just very boring and very pointless, but at the same time, there are also a lot of really interesting stuff in TOK. Like the stuff I wrote for my essays, that was actually pretty interesting, and it was really intellectually stimulating to have to think about the topics that I wrote for my TOK essays. And yeah, it made me think about the world, and it made me look at the world differently, like in a more educated way. And yeah, it does have its interesting side, and so in that sense I would say it's a relatively good to have subject. And so I received a C for TOK. I'm gonna be honest, I was not expecting a C. I honestly thought I did like relatively well in TOK, but clearly not. Clearly not. I got a C. I was expecting higher than a C, but it's alright. So I scored 2 points for EE and TOK, and my overall score is a 43. I'm honestly just grateful to have gotten the scores I needed for university, and I'm proud of myself because I worked really hard for all of this, and I also had a lot of fun. It was a lot of stress too, but also a lot of fun. I found it enjoyable. I mean, I wouldn't describe my experience as enjoyable, but it was fun, and it was stimulating. It wasn't boring. It wasn't easy. It was stressful, but I do like the fact that it's a more comprehensive course, as in it's not just like an exam, but we're also submitting essays, we're also submitting IAs, and we're doing research and all of that fun stuff. And for anyone that has just completed the IB, congratulations, you did that. So give yourself a pat in the back. If you did well, congratulations. If you didn't do as well as you wanted to, as you would have liked to, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. You still have a long way to go in your life. There's still a long runway left. So I guess that wraps up my IB journey. It was overall I would say a pretty valuable experience. Maybe it would have been better if it was offline. But I also really liked it online just because I got to stay in my room all day. That was honestly great because I'm an introvert. I feel sorry for the extroverts that were like begging to go to school, but I was like enjoying my time. So I guess I'll end the video at that for today. So goodbye.